The Indus Water Treaty, a landmark agreement between India and Pakistan. The Indus Water Treaty (IWT) stands as one of the most significant agreements between two nuclear-armed neighbors, India and Pakistan, concerning the use of shared water resources. Signed on September 19, 1960, the treaty has been a cornerstone of water diplomacy in the South Asian region, playing a crucial role in maintaining peace between India and Pakistan despite their often turbulent relations. This article explores the historical background, the terms of the treaty, its impact, and the challenges it faces in the current geopolitical environment. Historical context. The genesis of the Indus Water Treaty can be traced back to the partition of India in 1947, which led to the creation of Pakistan. The Indus River system, which includes the Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, and Sutlej rivers, was geographically divided between India and Pakistan. This division became a source of conflict due to the fact that most of the water of these rivers flowed from India to Pakistan. The dispute over water resources became a significant issue in the early years after partition. Both India and Pakistan recognized the strategic and economic importance of these rivers, and the inability to share the water resources led to escalating tensions, especially as both countries were developing their irrigation systems and hydroelectric infrastructure. This water dispute was exacerbated by the fact that the rivers were not just a resource, but also symbolic of national sovereignty and control. As tensions rose, international organizations and third parties, particularly the World Bank, became involved in facilitating negotiations to avoid conflict over water. The culmination of these diplomatic efforts was the Indus Water Treaty. Terms of the treaty. The Indus Water Treaty, brokered by the World Bank, was signed by Jawaharlal Nehru, Prime Minister of India, and Ayub Khan, President of Pakistan, in 1960. The treaty has 6 main provisions. Division of rivers. The treaty allocated the waters of the Indus River system between the two countries. Pakistan was given exclusive control over the waters of the 3 western rivers, the Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab, which flow from India into Pakistan. India, on the other hand, was granted control over the waters of the 3 eastern rivers, the Ravi, Beas, and Sutlej, which flow from India into Pakistan. Water use and storage. Under the terms of the treaty, India was allowed to use the waters of the 3 eastern rivers for irrigation, drinking, and power generation purposes. However, India was prohibited from constructing any large dams on these rivers that would block the water flow into Pakistan. In contrast, Pakistan had access to the water of the western rivers, and any water use by India from these rivers would require prior approval from Pakistan.
Construction of dams and irrigation systems. The treaty also set out the process for resolving disagreements over the construction of dams or the use of water resources. Both countries were allowed to build projects on the rivers they had control over, but such projects required certain limits on water diversion and storage, and were subject to dispute resolution mechanisms. Dispute resolution mechanisms. One of the most important provisions of the treaty is the establishment of a permanent Indus Commission composed of representatives from both India and Pakistan. This commission is tasked with managing water resources, addressing disputes, and ensuring that both sides adhere to the terms of the treaty. Additionally, the treaty includes provisions for an impartial tribunal in case disputes could not be resolved through bilateral discussions. Sharing of data. Both countries agreed to share information about water flow and storage levels, which would ensure that any changes in water availability or potential disruption of water supplies could be addressed in a timely manner. Future modifications and amendments. The treaty stipulates that any amendments or changes can be made, but they would require mutual consent from both India and Pakistan. Impact of the treaty. Since its signing, the Indus Water Treaty has largely succeeded in preventing water-related conflicts between India and Pakistan, a notable achievement given the political and military tensions that have existed between the two countries over the years. The treaty has facilitated the development of irrigation systems in Pakistan, which is essential for its agricultural economy. The extensive canal irrigation systems in Pakistan rely heavily on the waters from the Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab rivers. For India, the treaty has ensured that the country has continued to have access to the waters of the Ravi, Beas, and Sutlej rivers, enabling the development of irrigation and hydropower projects in the northern states of Punjab, Haryana, and Himachal Pradesh. The treaty has also promoted cooperation between the two countries in the technical and scientific aspects of water management. Despite political differences, both India and Pakistan have largely adhered to the treaty's provisions. The establishment of the Indus Commission has enabled the resolution of several minor disputes related to water usage and dam construction, challenges and controversies. Although the Indus Water Treaty has been hailed as a diplomatic success, it has not been without its challenges and controversies, particularly in recent years. Water scarcity, the growing population and increasing agricultural demands in both India and Pakistan have led to heightened competition for water resources. In recent years, both countries have faced severe water scarcity issues. As the demand for water has exceeded supply, there are growing concerns about the long-term sustainability of the treaty, particularly in the face of climate change. Political tensions. Over the years, political tensions between India and Pakistan have occasionally spilled over into water-related disputes. For example, after the 2016 Uri attack and the subsequent surgical strikes, India threatened to revoke the treaty or take unilateral steps to stop water flow to Pakistan. However, India's leaders have generally refrained from taking such drastic measures, recognizing the long-term consequences of breaking the treaty. Dams and hydroelectric projects. India's construction of dams on rivers like the Chenab and Jhelum has raised concerns in Pakistan about the potential reduction in water flow. While India has assured Pakistan that these projects will not violate the terms of the treaty, Pakistan has expressed fears that India might use its control over the rivers to its advantage in the future. Climate change. Climate change poses an emerging threat to the stability of the Indus River system. Changes in rainfall patterns, glacier melt, and extreme weather events could have profound effects on water availability. Both India and Pakistan will need to work together to address these challenges and ensure the continued sustainability of the water resources. Conclusion. The Indus Water Treaty remains a testament to the power of diplomacy in managing shared natural resources, even amid political and military conflicts. For over 6 decades, the treaty has successfully prevented water disputes from escalating into full-blown conflicts between India and Pakistan. However, as both countries face growing water scarcity, environmental concerns, and political challenges, the future of the treaty will depend on continued cooperation and the willingness to adapt to new realities. In a world where access to water is increasingly viewed as a source of both geopolitical power and vulnerability, the Indus Water Treaty stands as a model for managing transboundary water resources. Yet, its survival will require not only adherence to the terms of the agreement, but also a commitment to working together in the face of emerging environmental and geopolitical challenges.